Why are there so many shows starring Muppets and dozens of movies too? They said they'd watch everyone and they mean it. It's something that they've got to do. So now they pledge you a lifelong commitment. The Muppets, Matthew and Sam.
Welcome to Commitment, the podcast where two friends have vowed to watch all things Muppets. I'm Matthew Gatos.
And I'm Sam Schultz.
And this week, we are finishing up Season 6 of Muppet Babies. We are now 78.5% done with Muppet Babies.
Well, that's okay. I think I like that.
Something about the 0.5 made me mad when I did the math. I was
Well,
like,
you're the one who made the formula.
I know, I could have rounded up.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are revisiting some weeks that we have recently been in because of the whole Ghost of Faffner Hall, Muppet Babies overlap thing that we have been experiencing, but now are done with because we finished Ghost of Faffner Hall already.
Yeah, I feel a certain lightness this week, Matt. We're done with that. We're almost out of the 80s.
We are very, much like we were stuck in October of 1989 for a long time, It feels like the end of 1989 is just not letting us go.
Yeah, I mean, we're only in November of 1989 now, so we didn't make a lot of progress.
No.
But still.
But we are going to wrap up Season 6 of Muppet Babies today. It's a weird, short 11-episode season. The two episodes we're here to talk about today are The New Adventures of Kermo Polo and Goosetown Babies.
The names make more sense now. I was so mad about them last time, but...
One of them makes a lot more sense. The second one, I would say, makes as much sense.
Yeah, I mean, basically. Goosetown's not a thing.
No, they invent a place called Goosetown to then label them Goosetown Babies.
Matt, I feel like this week we would be remiss if we did not talk about Rock and Roller Coaster just a little bit.
We mentioned it a little bit last time. Rock and Roller Coaster featuring the Muppets is open, is out there, is taking the world by storm as far as I can understand.
Everybody, the whole world going to experience
the Pope, presidents, everyone's there.
My friends organically started talking about the new Rock and Roller Coaster yesterday. I wasn't because I was there or anything. So,
which does happen to us from time to time. Someone's like, Muppets, huh?
And yeah, it did kind of turn into that.
Well, and the problem is, Sam, you have too much knowledge. And so then you start talking and there is a point where you realize, okay, I'm going to start saying too many things that you don't care about.
I think I do the opposite where I hedge so much where I'm like, nah, I don't know, it's stupid. But then I did get a little bit like, and they had puppet rods on Scooter's arms. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I think that's the line. But yeah, I think I want to ride it real bad is essentially my review.
Me too. They should have invited us, I think.
Well, they invited influencers who didn't know the name Animal, so they were too full, I guess, on their list.
I remembered Animal and relish the opportunity to meet him. Do you think we were even on like a short list to be invited to this?
I mean, if so, they missed our email inbox or something because I feel like the list was not that short.
Yeah, I guess not. That's too bad. But it does look cool. It looks cooler than I expected. I would love to see it in person. I think it's cool that there's a Tough Pigs reference in the line. I do wish there was a Kermit reference in the line.
Sam, we haven't been around for 20 years to establish the reputation.
I think we could have a sticker somewhere deep in the set dressing of
You can bring one when you go to Florida.
We don't know that on the back of one of those like wood cutouts in the ride itself, somebody didn't put a Kermit sticker on it,
One of my favorite things that's in the ride is a quick glimpse of a Waldo C graphic, like street crossing sign.
Oh, yeah.
And underneath it says obligatory Easter egg, which felt very good and Muppety. I will say there's something about when I started watching the videos of the queue and the ride, everything, I got excited. I wanted to go. The more I kept watching, the sadder I got about Muppet Vision.
Right, because they've stripped parts out of it.
And it feels a little bit of like, here you go. This keep you happy.
Yeah. This is basically as good as Muppet Vision, right?
Yeah, or it feels like somebody internally at Disney was like, well, Muppet Vision's boring. What if we made it a roller coaster?
Yeah.
And someone's like, well, no one wants that. And it's like, well, give me the roller coaster and just slap some Muppet Vision things all over it and people will be fine.
We also don't want to pay Aerosmith for their name anymore.
I want Steven Tyler to be interviewed about this.
Do you think how much thought do you think he's given it?
Very little. I'm sure someone told him, hey, guess what's happening? And he's like, oh, I didn't even realize we were still there.
I think that's what my reaction would be too, is like, what? My band is so old.
Yeah, we're still Disney relevant. It's like, hey, if Def Leppard is, so are you, I guess.
But do you think it means that, do you think Muppet Vision 3D is gone forever?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because I know people think that they're going to change that theater nearby, like the Villains Theater, into Muppet Vision. Yeah. I've heard rumors that they have shipped all of the Muppet Vision props from California are in Florida right now for some reason.
I think we'll get crumbs tossed to us throughout the next few years of things like this, where you get all the references inside of like rides like this. There might be some like sort of retrospective come visit the props from Muppet Vision as you walk through this old abandoned building that we don't know what to do with at Disney World. But I would be very surprised if they brought it back. They just don't really do that.
Right.
Like, they don't bring back closed down rides. I also feel like to put so many of the props and references in this ride kind of feels like they're sealing its fate.
That's how I kind of feel too. Except to know that there is a whole other version of the ride out there with like all the of Muppet Vision. Like, there's still the pieces to put it together, probably, if they wanted to.
I don't know. I don't think I would have predicted, 10 years ago that we'd be where we are at right now with Muppet Vision closed and Rock and Roller Coaster turned into Muppets. But I would be shocked if they fully brought it back.
Yeah, that's sad. Maybe when somebody our age becomes the CEO of Disney, they'll say, it's time. Get it out of the mothballs. But I guess one thing that makes me kind of wonder about it is that now there is a ride with new voice Kermit on it. So would they have a ride with new voice Kermit and a ride with Jim Henson Kermit? I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure there are examples of Walt Disney Mickey Mouse in the park.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm sure you have 5 different versions of Mickey. I mean, you have like the wild ass new looking Mickey from the cartoons mixed with your standard Mickey Mouse costume. They haven't updated that costume to look like the new cartoons.
Like the guy. That's true. That's a good point.
Someone's tried. I bet they built one and they're like, burn it.
We can't do this.
No one can see this.
What I always think is that, I've probably said this before, is like somewhere in a basement at Disney World, there is a like AI robot Mickey Mouse who's kind of like that Olaf robot they built or something, who can like kind of toddle around and falls down a lot and is like, when do I get to
Kill
go see
me?
When do I get to go and see the kids? As like his face falls off and they're like, Mickey, you're just not ready yet.
But getting back to Rock and Roller Coaster, I think what makes me sadder is reading more and more of like the Easter eggs about Pizza Rizzo, or there's the flyer for like Missing Bunny Contact Sweetums. That one's one where that sort of felt like a crumb that was like, here you go.
Yeah.
Because Bean Bunny and Sweetums are both in this ride. They're both in Rock and Roller Coaster. Bean Bunny's not missing. Sweetums isn't looking for him.
Yeah.
So to put that in here just felt like a little bit of, you like that thing? Here you go.
Yeah.
And all the Pizza Rizzo stuff, I'm like, that restaurant is closed.
Yeah. No one's going to know what this is.
Yeah. It's very, I don't know, very odd, but the squeak easy is really cute and kind of made me like it better.
I like that. I wish that they could redress that part of the park a little, like back in that little corner, to be more Muppety. Because I know there's I think there's a lot of dead space. Like there's just some boring space back there that they could do that with. But
something I will say that I think you have a little bit proved me wrong on is I said there would be 0 references to Muppets Mayhem in this ride. And there's not 0.
Okay, what is there?
So a couple of the songs that they perform in Muppets Mayhem are playing like outside the ride, like in the area. And then in the queue, there's like a display of animals' drums and some of the instruments and stuff. And there is the vinyl record that they make in Muppets Mayhem
Oh, wow.
is in the glass case.
Okay.
So at least in this, that is a canonical part of their story.
But the lady who's there,
Penny
like,
Waxman is not in this
not
ride.
referenced in any way that we know
I
of.
don't believe they reference their time at the other record label or any of the
'cause
events
they're
of
on
that show.
They're on the G-Force label now. Of course.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I think it's everything I've seen about it looks great. The queue looks great. The audio animatronic scooter looks
He
amazing.
looks so cool. I want to see him so bad. But we didn't get invited, so.
No, it does seem like it was mostly Disney influencers as
Yeah.
opposed to Muppet influencers.
Yeah, right.
So, we just got to get more famous, Sam.
We have to start going to the parks every day and live streaming and causing just a big problem.
Buying all the popcorn buckets and, standing in line and talking loudly about what we're about to ride. And then talking loudly while we're in the queue, annoying the people around us.
Hey, guys.
And then talking loudly when we get off the ride.
Yeah, I don't think I can talk loudly. You could do that part. I can stand in the background and be like, hello.
Just nod.
And I'm here too.
I did. They put out a recent video from the Imagineers of like a progress report on Monstropolis.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of sad because the guy at the beginning of the video is standing with a hard hat on and all that stuff and all this work happening behind him. And he's standing on the second floor patio area of Pizza Rizzo.
Oh, no. Where we were recording.
Where we recorded our podcast at the park.
Yeah.
And he's just standing up there looking back at Monstropolis and all the work they're doing.
That sucks. Pizza Rizzo sucked, but that one room with the...
That one room
was so cool. The prom room.
And I'm sure it'll be a fun monster-themed thing as well. But
I guess so. I just don't...
We don't do a Monsters, Inc. podcast, so we don't care.
We could. There have been TV shows and stuff.
I mean, we'd be done by now if we did that.
We would be done. And nobody,
it's a short TV show and then only a couple movies.
That's right.
But that is not our fate, Sam. We have committed ourselves to talk about Muppet Babies, and that we must do. So, Sam, what do we watch this week?
First, we watched The New Adventures of Kermo Polo, air date November 18th, 1989. The babies are playing Marco Polo, and Kermit is it, but through a combination of all the other babies cheating and Kermit just not being very good at the game, he has pretty much been it all day. Just as he's about to quit out of frustration, Nanny tells Kermit that the real Marco Polo never quit, and that's how he made all of his amazing discoveries. She takes the babies to the study and reads them the story of how Marco Polo brought noodles to Europe, and the babies imagine Kermo Polo trading Polaroid pictures of Miss Piggy to the Great Khan, played by Gonzo, for the noodles. Then Gonzo switches roles to Sir Francis Drake and races his rival Kermo to new discoveries before all of the babies end up on a quest for the Fountain of Youth. And then Nanny tells them she made spaghetti. And that's the end of the episode. That's kind of like a normal day for a child, I feel like, probably. They're like playing and then your mom says, time for spaghetti.
Yeah.
And that's it. Then we watched the 1989 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which aired on November 23rd, 1989. Not really like a ton of in-depth Muppet stuff here. We just see Big Bird in giant balloon form drifting by. Then and a bunch of other crazy stuff that we flagged that we'll probably talk about way more than Big Bird drifting by.
It was way more interesting than a giant balloon.
This was a tailor-made Thanksgiving Day Parade for me. It features some things I've talked about before, I think, also.
I think maybe, but I was skipping through this to find Muppet stuff, and I had to highlight those and be like, Sam, please, you need to watch these things.
It's so crazy. Then we watched the Muppet Babies episode Goosetown Babies. I didn't write the air date down for this one.
It was November 25th, 1989.
Thank you, Matt. It's a rainy day and the babies are all bored, so Gonzo takes it upon himself to remedy this. He goes in his closet and grabs a pop-up book of nursery rhymes and uses it like a Bible or like a magic book to entreat.
More like a magic book, I believe.
Well, you know. He's entreating Mother Goose to stop the rain. He's worshiping her as if she's a deity of some sort.
He refers to it as an intergalactic spell book.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. Okay. The babies tell Gonzo that Mother Goose isn't real, so he's more like a warlock, I guess. He's trying to make like a pact with with some kind of demonic entity or something like that.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah, okay. The babies tell Gonzo that Mother Goose isn't real, so in order to prove them wrong, he and Animal pretend to go into the book of nursery rhymes to find her. The book is fucked up and old, and the pop-up elements are all broken, so he and Animal go around fixing things up for various nursery rhyme characters as they make their way to Mother Goose. They finally get to her castle, and Mother Goose is bitter because she thinks that all children want to do these days is watch TV and play video games. Gonzo tells her that kids still love her rhymes, and a magical beam comes out and restores the land. They leave the book, and it has stopped raining, so Gonzo's dark ritual was a success. Finally, we watch segments of 50 Years of Television, a golden celebration. Also forgot to write down the air date for this. Matt, take it away.
This aired on November 26th, 1989.
So this is like a TV special that's sort of a greatest hits clip show of the best moments of TV history. Maybe chosen by ballot. It seems like it's implied that there was some choosing, some like decision-making process behind this.
Yeah, I don't know how, was that just for the kayfabe
For the
of
joke.
the scene with Kermit and Piggy, or was there some sort of TV Academy
Did you watch
decision?
the whole thing or anything like that?
God, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I
mean-
could barely watch the...
Okay, we'll talk about it more. There's some choices made in the presentation of this television show that made me not want to watch any more of it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So Kermit and Piggy are tapped to introduce the dancing segment of the show. Kermit tries to do that just kind of like straight and regular, but Piggy is, of course, in the background dancing like crazy and breaking things, spinning around, doing ballet. Eventually, he gets her under control and the show proceeds. After the dancing montage, Piggy introduces a Carol Burnett montage, and then later, Kermit introduces a Jackie Gleason montage that he starts off by fantasizing about punching Piggy straight to the moon. Then, when that's over, Piggy is prepared to sing her big number for the best singing moments in television history, but Kermit tells her that she isn't on the list and she wasn't even on the ballot, and she swears off singing on TV forever, which Kermit proclaims as another great moment in TV history made in front of our very eyes, and then Piggy karate chops him. Do you think anybody drew like the parallel between that she does send him straight to the moon? Probably not.
No, I think that was just what do we do with Piggy? I guess she karate chops him.
She does the thing that he always, that Ralph Cramden threatens to do all the time, though.
Yeah, which, watching The Honeymooners now in 2026 is one of those things of you look around going, how did anyone ever let this exist on television?
Yeah.
Where a man's joke every week is to repeatedly
Is that he's gonna
threaten domestic violence.
Pow, straight to the moon. Well, they love each other, damn it.
That's the thing is like the whole conceit is that, yeah, but he doesn't, and he's a heartwarming, loving husband at the end of the
punch her
day.
in the face.
He just says it every week.
He's just a big lout who threatens her.
Yeah, it's insane. Well, getting into the end here of 1989, I was looking up some things that, happened around this time, Sam. And something finally happened, which we talked about, I feel like, forever ago as a thing that, oh, yeah, this happens at some point in the 80s, but when?
Oh, is it
And
the
we made
Berlin Wall falling?
Yep, it fell.
Oh, I missed
it's
it.
down. Here we go.
I missed it. And Nanny's book is out of date then because she shows them a map that has the USSR as labeled.
Some other things happening. November 17th, The Little Mermaid is released in theaters.
I went to see that in theaters and had to be taken out of the theater because I was crying.
I feel like I have been told that I saw it in theaters. I don't know my experience of if I enjoyed it. But yeah, we would have been just 2 years old.
Yeah,
so
they shouldn't have brought us to the movie in the first place, I don't think.
probably not. Some other things in the world of TV that are happening around this time. America's Funniest Home Videos is about to debut. The Simpsons is about to premiere, which we did talk about previously. But also, Jaleel White makes his first appearance as Urkel in December.
Urkel's not around yet? That's
Nope.
so interesting. I feel like if you polled people, they'd be like, oh yeah, the 80s, Urkel. But
No,
not even barely. He barely squeaked in.
he's the flag bearer of the 90s.
Yeah.
He's bringing it in.
He's Baby New Year for the 90s.
Well, as he begins, the Smurfs wrap up in December.
Yes,
So,
okay.
yeah, Smurfs definitely an 80s thing. You can't have a Smurf in the 90s.
You can have a Smurf in the 2020s voiced by Rihanna.
You can
though.
try.
No one's going to let
I'm
you
not-
do it.
I'm not sure anyone likes it, but you can do it. Well, why don't we talk about the weird stuff first and then talk
Okay.
about Muppet Babies?
Okay, I mean, Muppet Babies is pretty weird.
Yeah, but let's talk about the stuff that there's almost nothing to say.
Okay.
So the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade from November 23rd, 1989. It's really just the Big Bird balloon, guys. It's designed by Michael Frith.
Michael Frith designed this balloon?
Yeah, a year before this,
Oh.
he designed it and debuted in 1988. They talk a lot about the pieces of the balloon and how, sort of like the Titanic, if one part of it goes down, the
Yeah.
whole thing doesn't go down.
I never really thought about that before, but yes, pieces of them deflate. I guess that makes
Yeah,
a
like-
lot of sense.
Big Bird's beak can pop and the entire Big Bird doesn't pop.
Yeah. It is a beautiful balloon. Now that I know that
Yeah.
Michael Frith did it, it does have like painterly elements to it, and it's kind of like a little bit, I don't know, it's a little cuter than those balloons usually are.
There's a really good sketch of Michael Frith's original drawing of it on Muppet Wiki that you can go take a look at. But yeah, I feel for the co-host in this, whose name I'm unfortunately forgetting,
Mhm.
but just trying to keep Willard Scott on task feels like quite the chore for the multiple hours of a Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
There's a couple times in that we watched like 45 seconds of this, and like
Mhm.
2 or 3 times he just like either cuts her off or says the line that she just said. Or
like straight up just repeats and, hey, did you know this about Big Bird? And
Yeah.
she's like, I literally just said that.
Yeah, which I wasn't sure if maybe she messed up or he messed up, and he was just like, this is how we do things, kid, or if he's
Yeah.
just being really annoying, and probably a little bit of both.
But that balloon isn't really the star of this show, of this parade. I highlighted some other things in our document for Sam to check out if he wanted to. There's a Marvel moment, a Joker moment, and an Alf moment,
Yeah.
which I think really just seals and puts a big stamp on this that says 1989, folks.
Yeah, that the Marvel one. I'm sure some Marvel like historian could look at the character choices on that float and be like, oh yeah, this is why Emma Frost is on there. Why is Emma Frost on there?
I really wanted to edit that into like a fake Doomsday trailer.
Oh yeah, not enough probably though, right?
Well, just even to like have a fake intro of like the beginning of a Doomsday trailer and then have it cut to "Where have all the good men gone?"
It would be kind of cool if like in the Deadpool movie or something, he like found that float smashed up and then
Yeah,
had to kill
or
all
it's
those
just in
guys
the weird
goofy outfits or
Deadpool
something.
Wolverine space.
Yeah, there's like a
Uh,
skeleton with
yeah.
that shitty costume on.
So what we're talking about is there's a performance of I Need a Hero on a Marvel float, and there's a wild collection of Marvel superheroes running around and villains because Magneto's there, Doctor Doom is there, but Daredevil and Captain America are running around. It is one of those things where you would not see this in 2026
Yeah.
because Disney would have way too much control.
Mhm.
But in this era, it's just a silly Marvel Comics float, and they just hired some muscly guys who are running around looking silly. As someone who's recently watched Daredevil and Luke Cage,
Uh-huh.
it's quite a different interpretation of these
Their costumes,
characters.
their costumes are so crazy. Yeah. Luke Cage has his like yellow shirt on with his tiara.
Which they explain away in the TV series. They like make a scene out
Yeah.
of him getting that costume. But in this, like, these are the most comic accurate costumes you will see. Like they went to a nearby Halloween store or something and just got the perfect Magneto costume, the perfect Daredevil costume, a passable Hulk costume.
The Hulk is pretty bad.
The Hulk just kind of looks like a guy with a big head.
Oh man, Magneto and Green Goblin high five at one point.
Yeah. And then Magneto and Daredevil just kind of hug a little bit and walk away.
Magneto would make mincemeat out of Daredevil. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, he would just bend this whole float around him.
Yeah, there's no way. There's like the Sanctum Sanctorum. This is it. I would love to. I want to get a good view of this float, and I would love somebody who knows a lot about Marvel history to just be like, "Here's what was going on Marvel right now, and here's why they."
Yeah, like what storyline was going on in the comics?
Yeah,
that they picked these guys.
you got Brown Suit Wolverine. You got you got Silver Surfer, who doesn't have a surfboard and maybe is Iceman. I'm not actually sure if he's Silver Surfer.
I think he's Silver Surfer with the most terrifying Putty from Power Rangers
Yeah, he's
face
got this
that you've
fake
ever
face.
seen. For some reason, they decided to give him a mask
Ugh.
when everyone else is kind of either human
Well, they couldn't paint his
or...
face over because they did that on The Wizard of Oz and they made that guy really sick.
That's true. They almost killed the guy from Beverly Hillbillies.
You know what I would guess? That they're completely panicking over Batman. And they're like, we gotta get something out there.
Right.
We
because
gotta
the
remind
Batman
people we
movie
exist.
came out and Marvel is panicking because DC's got all the clout right now.
Batman just came out, right? Because we're gonna see a Batman float later, and this is
I mean, if
embarrassing.
Batman didn't just come out, that later float with the Joker on it is an even wilder choice.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, Batman had come out in June of 1989.
Okay.
And so you know what the Macy's Corporation thinks? Hey, remember that charming scene where the Joker tries to kill everyone during a parade?
Yeah.
What if we put the Joker on a float in our parade?
Well, I mean, it is a fun idea because there is a big parade. And he's throwing money and
with
stuff like that.
balloons that have poison on them.
Okay.
Gassing everyone in the audience.
He should be saying the whole time, don't worry, guys. I'm being nice today.
No, instead he's going to do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression and a bunch of other impressions because they hired some guy who is known for impressions to sing a song about being the Joker. At least sing a Prince song or something.
Oh, yeah. They should have had a Prince song on there.
Like, do something related to the movie at all. This feels unapproved by Warner Brothers / DC. This is the comedian Frank Travellina, who is dressed as Jack Nicholson's Joker. Not really doing much in the way of jokering. In his mix of impressions that he does do, at the very end, he does the line, "Where does he get those wonderful toys?"
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, he's kind of just like, "Hey, friends, it's me, your pal, the Joker."
Oh, there's like a weird concept when he first rolls up where they're like, can you guess who this Joker really is?
And I couldn't because I don't know who Frank Travellina is.
Yeah. Then it ends and like it shows a clip of this comedian being like, and it was me the whole time. And then Willard is like, wow, I can't believe it was that guy.
Because I don't know who the fuck that guy is. But there is a little bit, now that I think about it, there is a little bit of the score at the end.
Yeah, it does do the Batman
I guess
thing.
maybe Warner Brothers did know about this.
Oh, I'm sure that they did, and it feels kind of like an executive who hadn't seen the Batman movie yet was like, I know what
They
Batman's
just saw
all
a
about.
still of the Joker in the
Yeah.
parade. They're like, well, you know what? We should get the Joker in the Macy's parade.
That guy's always dancing and singing. So, and look, he's having a great time at this parade.
But the last moment I wanted to highlight from this parade is something that actually runs through this entire parade, and that's commentary from Alf. Alf is just in a window of an apartment overlooking the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade and is mostly cut to list out who is coming up in the parade. He is very excited about one particular guest in the parade, and it is the giant Garfield balloon.
Because he famously loves to eat
Famously.
cats. And what could be a better cat to eat than Garfield? He's like veal, probably. He's just eating lasagna and laying around.
I feel for Paul Fusco, who performs Alf, because he's just up in an apartment in a window for like 3-4 hours, reading out random celebrity names.
Yeah. And you can see the wind whipping the hair on the Alf puppet around. He's probably so cold up there. I mean, he talks in gruesome detail about eating Garfield, too. He's like, this cat could have fed my entire planet. And just really gets into like the physics of how it would work to eat something so large. Makes me think about that giant Garfield's desiccated corpse.
Laying somewhere.
Yeah, on
Alf
the planet.
finally won.
On planet, what planet's he from?
Melmac?
On Melmac, yes. The giant Garfield.
I can't believe you forgot
skeleton.
Melmac.
I cannot believe I forgot Melmac.
Ooh, the giant skeleton. I was picturing just like a balloon, obviously, the texture, but I do now, I can picture what Garfield's skeleton looked like. And it just strewn about Skull Island style up there on Melmac.
On Melmac, yes, the day of the great feast.
I have brought for you a giant cat. Well, Sam, it's time to celebrate 50 years of television with a golden celebration. But not with an audience for some reason.
It seems like I thought maybe there was an audience and the Muppets were just dying up there.
It doesn't seem
but
like
there is
it.
no audience, yeah.
It's a very weird pre-recorded show that's mostly compilation stuff. And I'm going to say as good as Jim and Frank are, which they are good at their jobs, they're good in this, this is maybe not the best use of them, nor the best setting for them to be just straightforward, like earnest, introducing comedy bits.
But they are kind of like, they're television legends in their own way. So it does seem like it would be kind of exciting if you're Carol Burnett to be getting introduced by Miss Piggy. Don't you think?
Yeah. I think they're trying to have it both ways, I think is the problem. It feels like they're performing for an audience.
True. Yeah.
But because there isn't an audience, things fall flat and they can't react to anything. But they don't just go fully in the other direction and try not to perform for an audience.
Right. I think Kermit even like flubs the line right at the beginning, which is confusing in the way of like, well, they could have just started over. It was right at the beginning.
Yeah. It feels to me like, I don't know if this was written last minute or written by non-Muppet writers or what it was, but it doesn't feel like a good use of them. It kind of feels like you're just playing the hits a little bit.
I suppose especially these days when you don't see them that often anymore.
Right. Like this honestly feels like what they would do with them now.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of like,
yes, I was
if you're just
going
to pull them out of the cabinets for once a year, it's like, oh yeah, I guess Piggy will karate chop. Kermit will try to be calm and relaxed, but he'll get a little flustered. But Kermit, I think, is too earnest and straightforward in this. And then while Miss Piggy is doing her "isn't this all about me" thing, because there's no audience to laugh at it, all we get is Kermit being like, no, it's not. It's not about you.
You know what? Okay. While I was watching it, I was kind of thinking, these guys are reminding me of the Muppet Babies a little bit. Because I feel like she must have always pronounced things the way that she does, and I just never really like thought about it too much until Baby Piggy started doing it so much. But she does that a lot in these clips, and Kermit is being like very calm in the way that Baby Kermit is a little bit more like he's not flailing around. He's kind of just like, oh, brother.
Right.
And there's nobody laughing at them, just like nobody's ever laughed at Muppet Babies. So it's
a little sadder. I think if you're like having Piggy be like, "Oh, I'm getting an award," and he's just like, "No, it's not for you,"
and nobody's reacting to it. She's just being given bad news in private.
Yeah,
they maybe should have let the Muppets introduce a part about like puppets,
and like children's television or something. There's a part apparently where Muppet Wiki says Walter Cronkite talks about how TV affects society, and there's a clip of Big Bird during that montage. So yeah, having maybe the Muppets stay in their lane a little bit maybe would have been better.
If Kermit can be earnest about anything, he can be earnest about that.
But getting into the main event this week, Sam, the end of season 6 of Muppet Babies. We watched 2 episodes, the first of which aired on November 18th, 1989. The New Adventures of Kermo Polo, written by Lois Becker and Mark Stratton. But I gotta tell you, Sam, this might be the first Muppet Babies episode that actually encouraged me to look up and learn more about the real story.
Somebody asked me this weekend, like, what are they trying to teach on Muppet Babies? And I was,
very, very little.
Like on Sesame Street, they have scientists and stuff and like teachers who are influencing things, right? So like Muppet Babies must have the same thing. It's like a kid show. And I was like, no, they just lie about everything. I don't think anybody cared.
Or someone read one book once.
Yeah, in grade school, and they're like, I think Marco Polo like found noodles or something. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of myths. It's a lot of the things that people think or remember about historical figures that is not true with even like a little bit of research. And they just say it as if that's fact. And this is probably why a lot of kids then learn those things and say, well, Kermit wouldn't lie to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Marco Polo discovered the New World or something and raced with Captain Cook.
That part,
probably people who existed hundreds of years apart from each other, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Sir Francis Drake racing Marco Polo thing definitely didn't happen. But yeah, I learned more about Marco Polo than I ever had learned previously. So I guess Muppet Babies encouraged that to happen.
Yeah, but back then, it couldn't have.
But I could have, gone to my local library and check out the Travels of Marco Polo.
Or
book.
looked at your encyclopedias.
Yeah. You make sure you buy the M section or P section. I'm not sure where he would have been necessarily. That's probably the same book.
Yeah.
But it's, he basically, the gist of it, and I'm sure I'll get some of this wrong, he was born in Venice, Italy. His family was trading on the Silk Road. And so his dad and uncle, maybe, another relative, were basically had traveled from Venice to the east, the mysterious east, as like they talked about it back then.
He wasn't even on a boat. Was he on a boat?
No.
He was
So
walking.
his dad comes back and he's like, hey, we got to go back and get more. So they're walking from Beijing to Venice, which is like 5,600 miles. It takes like 3
Maybe
years.
they have a horse.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, sometimes.
Things I was reading said they walked.
Oh,
so yeah, I don't know if they had horses or not. But yeah, he walks with his dad and another relative who I can't remember from Venice to Beijing. And when they get there, they meet Kubla Khan. When Marco Polo is like 20 years old, he meets Kubla Khan.
Okay.
And starts to work for Kubla Khan on some diplomatic missions.
What the heck?
Apparently, Kubla Khan, very much of like, hey, if you're good enough for this job, you can have it no matter who you are, no matter where you came from.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, I like the cut of this guy's jib. Why don't you go do some work for me?
Oh, interesting.
And so Marco Polo does that. And they're gone for like 24 years, the Polos are. And they return to Venice. They come back, tell everyone what they did. No one believes them.
Well, no one even remembers them.
Exactly. No one remembers who they are. They have to try and prove who they are and also tell them about what life in China was like and how advanced the culture was, how they were already using paper money, and how the cities there were so much bigger than any of the cities in Europe.
What the heck?
And everyone's like, you fucking liar. This is the mysterious East. No one, they're not advanced beyond our means. And he's like, I promise you they are. So later on, he happens to be part of a war. He's a captain. He gets captured. He's thrown into a cell with a writer who he starts telling these stories to. And this writer's like, you got to write this shit down, dude. And so this guy helps him. He writes the book, The Travels of Marco Polo, all about Marco Polo's travels. And that's sort of how the rest of the world starts to hear about Marco Polo's stories, which does help reshape maps and teaches people about what life was like. He obviously, 24 years, his memory is not the best. It's a little hazy. There's things he got wrong. There's things he didn't include that people are like, I'm not so sure why he wouldn't have included that. But from what I could tell, people believe a lot of the stuff he said, but I didn't dive any deeper than what I have just told you.
That's so interesting. I didn't know anything about it.
Actually, I also didn't. The best thing I learned is that his last words on his deathbed was, I didn't tell them half of what I saw.
Whoa, that's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know. What was happening over there? But like so much of our knowledge of Kubla Khan and like China during this time comes directly from Marco Polo telling people about it.
Wow. But probably also people in China were talking about it too.
Yes, but the word wasn't getting out. People weren't often walking 5,600 miles and telling these
This
tales.
guy and
like
his dad, though, they had
people
the
were very
gumption.
insulated.
They went on a hike.
Yeah, across deserts and everything.
That's interesting. He seems like such a boat guy. But
yeah, no, I think what's happening is this episode is conflating Christopher Columbus and Marco Polo a little bit because Kermit's costume even looks more like Christopher Columbus than Marco Polo.
I wonder if this cartoon is to blame for how little I actually know about Marco Polo. Like, this spread so much misinformation. Did he really bring noodles back to Europe?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Noodles already existed in Europe thanks to like Mediterranean food and cultures before that.
Yeah.
So yeah, him bringing spaghetti back from China was not a thing, but it was a popular story that was told.
Okay.
So they're not pulling that out of their ass. Like,
right.
Other people talked about it that way.
Okay, Muppet Babies didn't make that up, though.
No.
And they really did spill tomato juice on a bunch of noodles, and that's how they invented spaghetti.
That part's true. I will say the Great Wall of China was actually constructed 200 years after Marco Polo's journey.
So close.
So Kubla Khan and the Great Wall of China and Marco Polo, not necessarily.
All at the same time, but
yeah,
in the grand scheme of things, pretty close.
A surprising amount of accuracy here, even with the, Kubla Khan in this played by Gonzo as the Great Khan, asking him to do work for them. Like, I think what's happening here is there's a lot of really small nods to real stories that you could completely miss unless you did a weird deep dive like I did before watching this.
That is what another thing I was thinking about this show was like, kids aren't going to get like there are jokes in here, but there's no way to divine truth from fiction unless you are an adult who knows these stories already. So instead, you're just so confused.
There's some quotes that are just wild about Marco Polo's travels through the desert specifically that made me want to read this book, maybe check out an audiobook or something. So I imagine the language is a bit dated and hard to read on paper. There's a quote about his time in the desert when it says, when a man is riding through this desert by night and for some reason falling asleep or anything else, he gets separated from his companions and wants to rejoin them. He hears spirit voices talking to him as if they were his companions, sometimes even calling him by name.
Yeah.
Often these voices lure him away from the path and he never finds it again.
Is that where the game Marco Polo comes from?
I don't actually, Sam, didn't look that up at all. I guess I should have, because this episode starts that way with the babies playing Marco Polo, which I've only ever played in a pool.
Yes, me too. But their babies can't go outside. And one time they did have a pool in the house. Remember that?
Yeah, but they also probably, I wouldn't trust them outside in a pool. Like, they're little babies. Yeah, they're playing this famously water-based game inside with a blindfolded Kermit searching around for the other babies. He ends up only catching Nanny's legs as she comes into the nursery to check on them. And he complains because he's been it all day because he really sucks at this game, apparently.
Yeah.
And Nanny says, well, you're not giving up, are you? The real Marco Polo would never give up.
There's a part where he grabs Nanny's legs when he's blindfolded and he's like, gotcha. And then he's like, takes his mask off and he's like, gulp, it's Nanny. And they always are afraid that Nanny's going to be mad at them. But she's never mad at them.
No, we haven't really seen a lot of evidence of that.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't film that part.
Yeah.
Nanny makes him delete the footage.
He just looks like genuinely terrified to see Nanny. And that, like he touched her. It seems like
I could see him being disappointed that like he thought he found Scooter and Skeeter, but it really was Nanny's legs. But he does seem scared. Well, at this mention of the real Marco Polo, the babies are all like, wait a minute, the real Marco Polo? Who's that? No worries, Nanny has a book all about him in the other room. So the kids and Nanny all gather on the couch to look at the Marco Polo book. She tells the kids about how people thought the world was flat and the seas were full of sea monsters, and about how Marco Polo was a great explorer and discoverer, which throws us into the bulk of this episode, which is a Kermo Polo imagination sequence. Well, in this imagination sequence, Kermit is at the wheel of the ship. Again, not really a thing Marco Polo was doing.
Now, as we know now, no.
I mean, he was, when he was captured later on, he was like in the Navy. So, but that was wartime military stuff. He wasn't an explorer in the same way that Sir Francis Drake was.
Right.
He was more of the walking across the world explorer. But Kermit is at the wheel of the ship, blindfolded because he doesn't want to see the scary sea monsters and because he says he explores better this way. Rolf and Piggy are on the ship with him, as well as Fozzie, who is there and mostly just there to be dressed like a modern day cruise vacationer.
You know what? I kind of liked this episode of Muppet Babies. And
interesting.
I think Fozzie's voice, it also feels like Fozzie's voice actor is like has been watching the game tapes, and he's been looking at real Fozzie and being like, I think I got to do a little bit more like this, because I feel like he's got a little extra mustard and like a little bit more of a like kind of like New Yorkie accent to him that kind of works for me. And the song he sings later, well, we'll get into it, but I think Fozzie is improving.
Relative to the other episode we watched this week, this is a good episode. There's some fun jokes. It did make me go and research Marco Polo and Sir Francis Drake more than I ever would have. Yeah. I did. Not because of this episode, but inspired by this episode.
At least every episode should end with the Muppet Babies saying, you can check out more about Marco Polo at your local library. They should at least prompt you to do that if they're going to lie the whole time.
No, they just lie to you and expect you to accept it.
Yeah.
Well, the crew ends up in China at the Great Wall of China, which is a great wall made of ceramic bowls. He plants a flag, sends a huge crack up through the Wall of China. And this is when Scooter and Skeeter Khan approach, scolding him and letting him know the Great Khan is not going to be very happy about what he's just done. He tells them, well, we just discovered China. And Skeeter hits him with the, how do you figure? We were here first.
I think that's the most valuable lesson of this episode. And they do kind of repeat it a couple times too. Like they find an island, an animal is is like a native on the
Mhm.
island. He's like, "This is my island, guys," and they're like, "You're right, animal. It is your
Mhm.
island." I
Yeah,
thought it
and
was
Kermo
interesting.
Polo is like, when can I discover something that nobody else has discovered? Yeah, it's like a really interesting, I don't know, well-meaning section of the episode that I don't think gets enough
Right.
oomph put
Yeah.
on it because, yeah, I think that lesson could sink into kids' heads better.
Yeah.
Because I know the legend of Christopher Columbus that we heard as children was not anything like he
No.
discovered a place where other people already were.
It was a complete horror show, I believe.
Yes. So I wish I would have learned in school that there was a bunch of people already there
Well,
that were.
no one's going to have to learn anything in school ever again by the end of
Yeah.
So don't worry
New
about
executive order. Don't
Yeah.
learn. Stop it.
it. Yeah.
Well, we get to see the great Khan, who at first we see as a giant, muscular Gonzo. Because it turns out he was confused and thought he was supposed to be King Kong
That's fucking
and not
awesome.
the great Khan.
Make a kaiju episode. Back in like season 2, this would have
Mhm.
pivoted to like, well, I'm Godzilla now. And we
He would
forgot
have
what we were
tried to
doing.
he would have tried to be the great Khan and not change his physical
I think
form.
that would have been fun. But I do like the scene, but I do think him a giant with like the little hat on would have been cute too.
The best part of the scene is when it happens. Skeeter says, "Not again."
Yeah.
So somehow this has happened before.
I don't know. This episode was working for me for some reason because I also thought that line was really funny.
Well, unfortunately, he does shrink down and returns as the great Gonzo Khan and not Kubla Gonzo for some reason. They tell him they've come to trade, which is true. That's what they were doing. But he breaks out his baseball cards, which, for the record, wasn't true.
They hadn't invented it quite yet. It was close.
But he's very excited to trade baseball cards. And then Kermo Polo says, "Gosh, I guess I don't have anything to trade." What?
What were you
Why
doing?
did you come? You're the one who just said you were here to trade. So Gonzo says, "How about her?"
Just very matter of factly, like, what about her?
And offers to trade an original Babe Ruth and a handful of other baseball cards for Miss Piggy, which everyone thinks is a great
That's
idea.
fine.
Well, because at first Kermit's kind of like, maybe. And Rolf and Fozzie are at their best in this moment because they're both like, "Oh, that's a really good
gotta
deal,
do
Kermit.
it, yeah.
You gotta take the Koufax."
I think this episode works because there's a specificity to it, and because Rolf and Fozzie in that moment do feel like little like ruffian children, and like the jokes are actually about something and like playing with the scenario that they're in.
Yeah, no, it felt specific enough that I was like, oh, somebody on the Muppet Babies team is really into baseball.
I think this is like the second episode in this season, I think, where there are a bunch of really specific baseball references too, right?
I think so. And it just to have the all the players they list out and how instantly Rolf and Fozzie want to tell us that those are good cards and that's a great deal. And actually, maybe it's worth trading your friend away
Yeah.
for these cards.
I mean, in original Babe Ruth, it is funny that Rolf is like, you don't have a Babe Ruth.
Yeah, not only does he think this is a good trade, he knows enough about Kermit's current baseball card
Yeah.
collection. Well, to diffuse the situation, Piggy jumps in and ties Gonzo's nose up in a knot. And that sort of ends the trade system there. And thankfully, it's dinner time. So Gonzo is going to introduce them to Noodles. And so, yeah, this is building up that myth that Marco Polo brought Noodles back from China in the 13th century. And in this specifically, it's spaghetti because, oh yeah, didn't mention, Scooter's a klutz.
Yeah, he's Scooter Con Not.
Con not.
Yes,
Yeah.
he messes up a lot. I also like the kind of direction they've gone where Skeeter is the competent one and Scooter is a complete moron. I think that works better than Scooter the Brainiac.
I do wish we got, he was useful
He
in
was
some
useful.
episodes
Yeah.
by being the smartest baby in the room.
Yeah.
And now he's just a dork who
And now
falls
Skeeter's
over.
kind of the smartest baby in the room.
But she doesn't have tangible skills to offer.
Yeah, she's got street smarts and that's about it.
Well, after they invent spaghetti because Scooter spilled tomato juice on the noodles, they come up with a new trade idea because throughout this, Fozzie's been snapping pictures in his tourist garb, and Gonzo sees that he's got an especially fetching image of Miss Piggy and is like, "Oh, you just got to leave me that Polaroid, and I can give you all all the baseball cards you want.
It's almost it's not more creepy than trading a human being.
Right, yes.
But it's almost equally as, in this context at least, is like, just to say the sentence like, Kermit traded Polaroid photos of Miss Piggy to Gonzo.
Yeah.
Is
that
not
Miss
a good
Piggy
thing to think
explicitly
about.
says she does not
Don't
want
do
to
that.
happen.
Yeah.
She wants the photos destroyed. She does not want those photos shared.
No.
Well, that part is not addressed by Nanny. She doesn't touch on that part of the imagination sequence. She wraps it up with, and that's how Marco Polo brought noodles to Italy.
So she's just reading and they're not listening is basically what happened.
Yeah, they're filling in the gaps.
Yeah.
When she starts talking about the Silk Road and everything, they're like, yeah, but baseball cards is trading. So Nanny tells the kids how Marco Polo reshaped the maps and inspired a bunch of other travelers, which is true. There's stories about Christopher Columbus having a copy of the Tales of Marco Polo with him when he traveled. And so this launches into what feels like a time-filling last 5 minutes of an episode, but in reality is like the whole second half of the episode.
Yeah, the second half is right.
Because Gonzo now imagines himself as Sir Francis Drake, who has a crew full of mutant alien-looking folks.
What the fuck is that all about?
Well, and he keeps knocking them overboard with his giant hat.
They should have called him Sir Francis Freak or something like that.
Nope, it's Sir Gonzo Drake.
And it would have made more sense that he had, because there's like horrifying like Call of Cthulhu like monsters on his boat.
I don't know what they're trying to, like, if he's just because he's Gonzo, that's what he would have as a crew, but it's very odd. And yeah, Sir Gonzo Drake and Kermo Polo have to race to make a discovery, and so we get a wide world of ports, not sports, hosted by Rolf, the commentator.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Kermo Polo almost sails off the edge of the world, something that they were also not really actually afraid of at this time.
Is that
they
true?
knew the world was round. Yep.
Did we ever think the world was flat?
Yeah, but like some people many, many years before this time.
Okay.
Like they figured it out in like BC times.
It feels
that the
like
world was round.
One of the most pressing issues of human history to figure out if the world was flat or round. Like in retrospect, that's basically all you hear about.
Some people are still trying.
That's true. We went back to it. Yeah.
For me, this is when like I enjoy the Marco Polo part of this episode, but the Sir Gonzo Drake stuff just doesn't really hook me. I was like waiting for it to like do something interesting, and it just kind of becomes they thought of the other traveler names and they're like trying to toss them into the story.
Yeah. I think the whole last part of the episode could have been the search for the Fountain of Youth. That probably would have been a better use of their time.
But instead they have a race where they tie and they both try to claim an island at the same time. But this island's already been claimed by one Captain Cook, played by Miss Piggy. And this is Sandwich Island because she likes food.
Does baby Piggy like food?
She has liked food in some episodes.
She's like
they
cupcakes,
don't rely on it.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
Animal shows up as a native of the island, and he is the one being like, my island, dude.
And they bring back his like crayon style. He like his house draws in that crayon
Kermit
style.
points it out.
Yeah.
When Piggy gets mad that Animal claims this is his island, Kermit even says something like, well, didn't you notice? This all looks like Animal.
Work.
Yeah.
This show's good now.
Well, somehow, for not the last time this week, Nanny becomes a part of the imagination sequence, which we don't always see. And in this, she is forced to pick a winner of who gets the rights to this island, I guess. But she refuses to pick a winner and says, you're all winners.
Nanny, participation trophy.
You want to know anything about Sir Francis Drake, Sam?
Well, I'm looking at his Wikipedia right now, and there's a lot of massacres and horrible things on here.
Yeah, he was a pirate.
Oh, he was?
But yeah, he was a pirate that the queen was cool with.
Oh, yes, right.
Basically, England didn't want to go to war with Spain, but didn't want Spain to succeed. And so the queen was like, hey, pirates.
Yes.
Do what you want to the Spanish.
They were, yeah, I've heard about this before.
And so, yeah, Sir Francis Drake, secretly supported by the queen to steal from the Spanish. And apparently, he was a very successful pirate.
He became a knight, for crying out loud, right?
I mean, he sailed down, around the bottom of South America to get up to the Pacific coast. and do a lot of robbing and presumably killing of many a folk all on the coast there.
It's just not good when one of your Wikipedia headlines is slave trade. You're not a good guy.
No.
And some of them end with the word massacre.
Yeah. He did have a ship called the Golden Hind, hence the Golden Schnoz being the ship that Sir Gonzo Drake.
Surely not like a butt.
Not a butt.
Okay.
It's not a... No.
Okay.
It's not like the Golden Hind quarters or anything.
Yeah, okay.
The story of Sir Francis Drake is that he was going up that trip, ended up in California, and then headed west to make it home, ended up becoming the first Englishman to circumnavigate the globe.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
He had that fucking cool looking boat. Did you look at the picture of the Golden Hind?
The black and yellow one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go see it in England, I believe. They have at least a replica of it.
A lot of good pirating done in that boat.
There's 6 minutes left of the episode, and Nanny just mentioned Ponce de Leon, Sam.
And then wandered out of the room.
She mentions Ponce de Leon as one of the travelers and says something about the Fountain of Youth, and then goes, I gotta go. I've got a special surprise cooking up for you kids. When, Sam, did she start this? What we have seen happen is the kids said, who's Marco Polo?
Yeah.
And she said, come with me to the other room. I have a book. They sat down to start reading the book.
I mean, the episode basically happens in real time. Yeah.
Yes. And then suddenly Nanny stands up and says, oh, right, I have a surprise cooking for you guys, which is a reference to Marco Polo.
Oh, shit, dude. She predetermined their day.
She was a mentalist. She planted it in their brains to ask about Marco Polo. Or maybe, I guess they were playing Marco Polo.
She could have heard them playing Marco Polo.
Okay, that works.
And then she was like, today is a great day to teach the kids a lesson. I'll tell
them the only time I'll ever do this.
Yeah. I'll tell them a bunch of fake stuff about Marco Polo.
Yeah.
She knows a lot about explorers. I feel like the only other time she's really gone this deep into it was she gave them some other book about some kind of seafaring something. Remember that?
Yeah, kind of. This show is kind of a wash in my brain.
She's
I feel
a bit
like
of a history buff.
Damages me when I have to think about it.
No, I like it now. I'm turning around on it. This is my midlife crisis.
Oh, man, buy a Corvette or something.
Nope, I like Muppet Babies.
It's cheaper, I guess. Well, so we're going to get a Fountain of Youth segment to close out the episode. We get Foz de Leon, who shows up, not to actually be seeking out the Fountain of Youth because, that was hard. He can't find it. He's here to be a traveling salesman and sing a song about all the things that he can sell to them that he got from other world travelers.
I liked this song.
Man, I was annoyed by it.
I think this is a song that adult Fozzie would have sung.
This feels a little bit like the song at the end of Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
It's the wacky song where he's trying to kill the weasels.
But that's like a vaudeville, like, fits in with Fozzie's thing kind of song. And I think the idea of, like, I don't know, just him pulling that big cart around with explorer stuff reminded me of like Zelda or something. I don't know. I liked it.
I think there is the problem of, one, I was already annoyed by the episode after the Sir Francis Drake stuff at this point. And I think it was, like, it felt like that was their time-wasting segment. And so to add in another one annoyed me. And then to immediately abandon the concept of Ponce de Leon.
You know, at least they were staying within a lane.
I did like the joke. They have a inflatable globe that they are trying to blow up, and it flies away. And they're like, oh no, what do we do? And Kermo's like, follow the map.
And I thought that was kind of clever.
Yeah.
I think there is a little, I'm thinking about Animal in that moment. He's the one who blows the globe up. There's a bit of a flattening of all the characters. I think you've mentioned this before. None of them are like, even Animal's not a stupid baby anymore. He's just a guy who doesn't talk as good as the rest of them.
Well, they end up on a giant stack of toys, including Camilla and Fozzie's teddy bear. And it turns out to be a mountain of youth, not the fountain of youth. And it's really just the giant mess in their nursery.
And no lessons are learned or any commentary is made upon this.
No.
They just go and eat spaghetti.
Yeah, Nanny comes in after they've, quote, discovered the nursery to let them know that she's prepared a Marco Polo lunch for them of spaghetti and meatballs with silk placemats.
From the Orient. And
this is what she said.
I don't think you're supposed to be like, Nanny.
Yeah, we don't say
Nanny.
it that way anymore, Nanny.
I know you grew up in the 30s, but we don't say that anymore.
Yeah. But I do think that's like an actually good thing that Nanny does, where
your
kids are learning about a thing and you make them the themed lunch and even have the silk mats be like a part of it.
Yeah, based on misconceptions about the subject at hand.
Yeah.
It's all fake, but
Based on her knowledge at that moment, though, she was doing a cute, good thing.
yeah, Nanny's stupid, and that's why all the rest of them are stupid.
If Nanny was smarter, the babies would be smarter.
I think that's right.
I mean, as a parent, I gotta say, yeah, like, I'm not suddenly gonna get smarter because I have a kid.
Yeah.
So she's stuck with whatever I know.
Your baby's first words were knee and nub.
If only. Oh, one bummer of a thing this week is that both of our episodes have old go bye-byes attached to them.
I'm so curious about the mechanism of that. Was that something attached by the company when they sent it to like Nickelodeon to air on reruns, or was there some intern at Nickelodeon like splicing go bye-byes onto, or like videotape
I'm not sure.
or something?
And like maybe they stopped making them after season 4 or 5 or something like
Yeah,
that, and they've just been
that could be.
reusing them now.
Oh, you know what? They probably, if we got the original airing of them, they probably often had that thing that's abridging the 2 episodes, but that didn't work in syndication, where it's like Gonzo's like, don't change the channel.
Right. Or maybe sometimes they would make one that didn't say anything about don't change the channel. It just was like a normal go bye-bye, and they wanted to use one that talked about don't change the channel. And so they would just take one from another episode.
Yeah. But this one's
we've
weird.
Seen both of these ones before.
We have?
Yeah. This is the maybe season 1 or 2. It's a Gonzo as Cupid go bye-bye.
Oh, okay.
Which is even, my memory of it is that even when we originally saw this one, it was on the wrong episode.
Yeah.
Because the one we saw where it was him being Cupid didn't have a go bye-bye. And then we saw it like 2 episodes later. And we're like, I guess that was the one for that. But
you know what? They are outside in that. But I think the go bye-byes aren't real, right?
Go bye-byes aren't canon.
I don't even think they're canon to any experience that the babies had, right? Like,
I mean, he's on a giant typewriter almost being killed by Animal.
But they're not even, I don't even think this version of Animal and Gonzo, these are like the actors that are playing Animal and Gonzo.
These are the sellout versions who are like, oh yeah, nobody else wanted to do this. Right. We'll stay late today. We'll film a bunch of go bye-byes.
Exactly.
It's fine. We get a little pay bump. It's okay.
And those people are allowed to go outside. And they are, and
oh yeah, they drove to work.
Oh man, I wish the Muppet Babies had appeared in. The Muppet Babies should have been in that new Chippendale, and they could have been like the Baby Herman of that.
Yeah. I could see them hanging out with Baby Herman. Like a whole a Chippendale room at the Comic-Con thing, where it's like all the cartoon babies of the 80s.
Yeah, and there's like
you have the Flintstones kids and the Muppet Babies and Baby Herman.
Thick smoke in the air because they're all just smoking, yeah.
Well, the second episode we watched this week and the last episode of season 6 is Goosetown Babies, written by Hank Soroyan, aired on November 25th, 1989. Muppet Wiki note, that doesn't affect us, I imagine, terribly much, but this is the final
If you
Muppet
watch
Babies.
this episode, you die in 7 days. Oh, no.
Well, better edit this episode quickly, Sam. This is the final Muppet Babies episode to have the music score composed by Rob Walsh, who made the theme song and has done like all the background music. So I don't know what it'll be.
Did it once like 7 years ago and didn't do any more music since then, but
it does sound like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we'll see a change of the background music in season 7 and going forward, because it says that Robert Irving and Hank Soroyan take over the music duties on the show. So Hank Soroyan really taking over.
He loves
Muppet Babies.
Show. Yeah.
But this episode opens up with Gonzo watching all the other babies who are currently bored and irritable. And for some reason, he's pretending to be a Vulcan during this, but that doesn't really matter.
Doesn't bear out. For some reason, they don't tell us it's raining outside until much later. Is that also right?
Yeah, it just makes it seem like the babies are mad and upset for no reason. But what we do learn is that it is raining outside, and I guess in this fiction, sometimes the babies get to go outside and they're sad they can't.
Yeah, they just like to look at the sun.
We've literally never seen them go outside.
No.
So the idea that they would be bored because they can't go outside has been disproven by 6 episodes of television.
Yeah, we've just literally only seen Scooter climb into the window.
The whole show is about them being really good at imaginative things
Yeah.
and playing with each other in imaginary scenarios. Like
They're
this is
sick of
the
it
prime
today.
experience for them.
Yeah. They've had many a rainy day. But today they're just not feeling it.
Yeah. So Gonzo's going to cheer up his friends here. He goes to the closet to dig out a Mother Goose book, which he tries to use first as an intergalactic spell book to stop the rain. And Scooter and Skeeter stop him and say, hey, that ain't going to work. Mother Goose can't hear you. She ain't even real.
What kind of setup?
This
for an
episode sucks, Sam.
This is really going back to the early days of like, oh yes, Gonzo has a plan. He's gonna read his friends' nursery rhymes. They have this fun pop-up book. No. And it's not even played like Gonzo's crazy exactly. He just like goes to the window and starts praying to Mother Goose to make the rain stop. How do you think of that idea?
Well, especially when he's pulling out the Mother Goose book, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna, they're gonna tell stories. They're gonna reenact Humpty Dumpty or something like that, and this is gonna get the kids cheered up. He's gonna read them stories, his version, like Gonzo's versions of classic fairy tales or something like that, to cheer up the kids. And then for the first thing he does to be taking the book and casting a spell on the rain, I was like, oh, I have no idea what's about to happen.
I mean, I think that's great. but it's just a crazy thing to think about.
But yeah, Scooter and Skeeter challenge him, saying Mother Goose can't hear him because she's not even real. He pushes back on this, and when pressed, when they say, okay, then where does she live? He goes, Goose Town.
This also isn't an argument anyone's ever had. I mean, what was Mother Goose real? No, couldn't be, right?
I mean, I'm going to say no.
Fictional. Basically first word in the Wikipedia.
That's what they want you to think. I think what we're highlighting here between the this is an argument no one's ever had thing and the weird fiction Gonzo is making up in this is that this is one of those Muppet Babies episodes that the entire thing is pretty much just in the imaginary world. It has no bearing on the real world whatsoever. And there's not good logic to it. And the other kids don't seem to care at all about what Gonzo's doing.
There's a part where it cuts back to reality and Kermit's kind of just standing there looking at them. And then he's like, all right, see you later.
Well, and I think there's good ideas that could have been used in this episode, but just aren't.
Yeah.
Like even, we're talking about the rain. You don't realize it's raining at first because they kind of forget to tell you about that.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about the book being damaged and that being the reason things are weird.
So weird. Yeah.
We get the book loses a couple pages at the beginning and Animal starts repairing it with tape, but that doesn't really seem like an important moment. Mm-hmm. And so then when they're inside of the book and seeing all these things that are just a little bit off, I assumed that was a Gonzo thing and not because the book was damaged thing. But it seems to be the whole conceit is that this book was so damaged that things are just a little wacky and bonkers in Goose Town.
And then the whole idea is that Mother Goose is pissed because the kids just want to play video games. So why not start your episode with the kids playing video games and Gonzo's kind of like, I don't really want to, I kind of sick of playing video games.
What if the kids, again, you have these kids who are bored and irritable. What if they weren't? And what if they were just distracted by TV and video games?
Yeah.
And for some reason, Gonzo's like, hey guys, what if we play with this pop-up book I found? And they're like,
shut up, Gonzo.
Pop-up? I got Pong. Get out, loser. It is wild when they try to introduce that lesson near the end. And it's like, okay, nowhere in this entire episode were you talking about kids not appreciating Mother Goose.
By 1989, they had Double Dragon, Matt. We were already living.
That's true.
The Ninja Turtles NES game. Once Mario came out, it was all over for Mother Goose, I think is right.
Well, Gonzo starts to repair the pop-up book with tape and tries to cast another spell, this time in order to visit Mother Goose, not necessarily to stop the rain.
So what if it's real? You don't think that there's a possibility that it's real?
I mean, we've seen no evidence before of magic, I don't think.
I think I automatically take it back because we do see him hop in and out of that imaginary world a couple times. He's not really stuck there.
Or unless he's more powerful than we even realize.
Yeah, or even than he realizes.
Mm-hmm. So Animal and Gonzo enter the pop-up book. And first they run into Fozzie, who's playing a little cameo in this as the Crooked Bear. My other big problem with this episode is it's pretty much just a list of characters who don't really do anything
Yeah.
and pretty much just tell them to keep walking. So they continue on their way. They find the spoon in the road where they run into Kermit, who I don't think he's playing a character really. He's just Kermit.
He's not. It's even more abstracted than that. He's not playing a character.
Yeah.
Because he's the cow who jumped over the moon, but the moon's broken and they don't have a cow. So he's the frog who jumped over the spoon.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no. I mean, I guess as far as Rolf says later, Goosetown's fucked up. So it's just all part of it.
There's a surprising. It's not long, but I think in retrospect, surprising amount of time spent on Kermit just asking them to help him move a giant spoon.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, there really is.
They come to the spoon in the road and he's like, hey, you guys help me lift this over there? And they're like, sure, here we go. Let's move the giant spoon. And they move it. And then everyone's kind of like, why did we do that?
Uh-huh. And then he's like, will you pick it up again, please? And then they do. And then he trips over the spoon and his head goes in a rock. How does his head go in a rock? What is that?
Well, everything's kind of made of paper here. It's a book. So I think it's probably just a paper rock. I don't know. But his head does go fully inside of a rock.
His head could have gone in like one of Peter Pumpkin's famous pumpkins or whatever. Peter Pumpkin Eater? Yeah.
Peter Pumpkin Eater.
Yeah.
Had a wife and
couldn't eat her?
That can't be right.
Dear God.
Had a wife.
Couldn't keep her. Then does something.
He put her in a pumpkin shell and there he kept her very well.
Was that a good thing or a bad thing for her?
I mean, he locks her inside of a pumpkin, which I can't imagine was what she wanted with her life.
Wow, the Wikipedia about it is so short. Tell me why this is happening.
That's a bad poem.
Peter Pumpkin Eater had another wife.
Seems like it.
And didn't leave her. Peter learned to read and spell, and then he loved her very well. Interesting. This is his midlife crisis.
He left his wife in a pumpkin for a younger lady.
The verse is also considered to be an older version of Eeper Weeper.
Of course. How could I forget Eeper Weeper?
Oh, Eeper Weeper, chimney sweeper.
Had a wife but couldn't keep her. Had another, didn't love her. Up the chimney he did shove her.
Dang, these guys are being mean to their wives. And this guy didn't even have a second act. He was done with his wife. Maybe we should do a nursery rhyme commitment.
What does that mean?
Read them all.
Every week there's a bonus segment on our Patreon where we read nursery rhymes.
I think this is the best our podcast has been in a long time.
Well, next they run into Skeeter, who is a sneezy little Bo Peep.
Skeeter Funkin' Eater.
I mean, that would have been much better than Little Bo Peep. This is when I started to realize this episode is just a list of characters.
Yeah.
Because
they didn't even bother to draw her damn sheep.
No. On the next page, they find Scooter as Hickory Dickory Dock, who is the clock in this, which is, not the purpose of that story. Like, the clock's name isn't Hickory Dickory Dock. The clock isn't the character in that one.
It's about a specific clock, perhaps, at the Exeter Cathedral that has a small hole in the door below the face for the resident cats to hunt mice. I don't know. People were bored. They needed to make rhymes about something. Oh, it was a clock that had a door for a cat to get into it? I don't know. I don't want my cat opening the door. I don't want my clock to have a cat in it.
Well, Clock Scooter lets them know that Mother Goose is thinking of selling Goosetown and moving to a mystery novel because kids don't like her rhymes anymore and are always watching TV.
I kind of hate nursery rhymes. Do you? I think they're stupid. I kind of don't like fairy tales either. I think they're kind of stupid too.
You're the one who just proposed doing a whole podcast about them. I've already started working on the branding.
Just like I've learned to love Muppet Babies. Perhaps I could learn to love the works of Mother Goose.
I feel like there's either way less or way more than we think there is.
There's probably like 10 to 20,000 is my guess.
Yeah. And I think if we start to do, here's the Scottish version about a chimney sweep, it'd be like, oh, dear God, no. Well, on the next page, Piggy is Mary, Mary, quite contrary, which, again, doesn't really go anywhere. She has a garden where she's grown some food and sends them on their way to Old Mother Hubbard's, which is an old 50s diner in the desert where Rolf is the server.
And he's starving to death.
Yes, because Old Mother Hubbard has nothing in her cupboard. And so they're all out of food. Thankfully, they brought food for him from Mary Quite Contrary's farm. But the radish has a horn inside of it.
Why?
Because she's contrary to what you might believe there, Sam.
Because he's like, oh yeah, somebody else tried to like eat one of her apples and it had a screwdriver in it.
Yeah.
What?
He says cost Mother Hubbard a fortune.
What
Which
the
means
hell
somebody
does that mean?
sued Mother Hubbard, I think.
But why did it cost Mother Hubbard a fortune?
I don't know.
Oh, because they served her food?
Mary Quite Contrary just says, Mary Quite Contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row.
Which are just flowers, right? That they're talking about?
Cockle shells are like sea life, like shells from the ocean. So maybe that was weird enough at the time. They're like, whoa, this wacky lady. There's several printed versions from the 18th century that say, Mistress Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells, sing cuckolds all in a row.
Uh-oh. Don't put that one in Muppet Babies.
Gonzo the cuckold.
I guess Kermit kind of is. I don't know.
Who's
I think
the
a lot of
biggest
the
cuck
Muppets
in the
are.
Muppets?
I think a lot of them are.
It's time to meet
Probably
the
Floyd,
cuckets.
though. Probably Floyd, right?
I don't know if you can.
I mean, he's into it.
You're right. I don't think you can be a cuckold if you're a part of the situation. On that note, it's time for a song.
The nursery rhyme made us talk about it. It's not my fault.
It's your fault if it's still in the podcast. You didn't edit it out. It's still your fault. Well, that does lead to a song because Rolf has to teach us all, hey, this town is wacko.
It's crazy. Put the song at the beginning, you idiots. We already know it's crazy here.
Well, and this was when I was starting to piece together that like, oh, I think things are off because the book is bad.
Yeah.
And the fact that it took me over half the episode to realize that is a problem.
Well, if the song had been in the beginning and if Nanny had said, here's my old book, then you have then you got an episode going.
Maybe it needs to be a thing where Nanny has planned this day where she wants to read the kids Mother Goose stories. They're too busy watching TV and playing video games.
Yes, and she's mad.
Gonzo and Animal are like, we'll listen to your stories, Nanny.
Yeah. This feels like they dropped the script on the ground and all the pages came out. And then they were like, they almost got it back together. Right? Yeah. They almost got it back together, right? But the last few pages the first few pages ended up at the end.
Well, it's time to head to Mother Goose's house. And so they go and they're like, uh-oh, there's no house here.
Oh, we have 20 extra seconds in the episode to fill up with
nothing. Maybe there needs to be like, instead of jumping the shark, Muppet Babies has moving the spoon.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, this is a moving the spoon moment where nothing really happens, but they need to kill 20 seconds. And so they're like, well, house is gone. And then eventually Animal's like, wait a minute, I found a pull tab. If we pull this, hey, the house is back.
Yeah, we're in a pop-up book, remember? And then some poor person is drawing that scene and they're thinking like, why am I drawing this? It must make, once the voices are in, it must make sense, but I don't know.
So they wander into this giant castle and they find Mother Goose / Nanny, who basically just lays out the entire point of this at the end of the episode, saying, I didn't think any of you young people cared about me anymore.
Yeah. It's like when somebody's mad at you and you don't know why, and then they tell you like after they've been stewing on it for way too long.
Mm-hmm. And then you say, oh, I didn't realize that. And then a magic spell gets cast.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like that.
And it fixes up the land.
It changes her dress. Her dress changes from blue to white.
She becomes Nanny the White.
That's what happened if you remember reading Lord of the Rings, too. Gandalf was like, I didn't think anyone loved me anymore.
I'm mad at you guys.
Yeah. Oh, you
don't
love
like
me?
my fireworks.
Okay. Yeah.
Gandalf, we love your fireworks.
I just thought I was getting a bit rote. I thought maybe you guys talked about me behind my back. Gandalf, he's doing his fireworks again.
I only know how to blow a ship out of smoke.
Oh, it's a dragon.
Fireworks.
Oh no, a dragon again.
You guys think I'm a wizard, but I just own a fireworks factory.
And I've just been practicing pipe skills for a while.
I smoke lots of weed. Yeah.
I don't actually do any magic. That's why I actually was like, run, you fools. I didn't want you to see how bad I was at this. You need to leave because I got nothing. I don't know what to do
I
right
gave
now.
the Balrog like $20 and he just left.
Please don't pass. Please. Please don't pass. Come on, don't pass. But yes, Gonzo says to her, we do like those things, television and video games, but we still like you too. So the spell breaks, her dress turns white, Goosetown returns to normal, and they come back to the nursery where, according to Gonzo, the sun is shining thanks to Mother Goose, who just needed to know she was still loved. So yes, Mother Goose is a deity in Gonzo's eyes.
Yes. She regains her godhood and flies off into the sky. And we didn't know that the episode was even about this until the last 15 seconds.
Well, now, next episode is probably going to be Gonzo teaching from the good book of Mother Goose as a southern pastor, He's got his flock. What
Okay.
if Gonzo had just shown up in the Righteous Gemstones?
That would be so not weird.
He's just like another preacher. They don't acknowledge that he looks weird or anything.
He's the season's bad guy. It's like him and Camilla is his wife, and she's got like a big blonde hairdo.
I want that
That would be so
bad.
cool. And he'd have like big rings on.
Yeah.
And he'd be dressed so beautifully.
Now I want preacher Gonzo to interact with John Goodman.
Yeah. I mean, Uncle Baby Billy is so close to a Muppet already. That's a good idea.
Too late. Can't make that happen.
Too bad there wasn't a Muppet Show around at that time, because they would have done that. Something like that.
I mean, they won't even do more Muppet Show now, Sam.
Well, I know, but that's just because we live in a fallen world. We need to restore the godhood of
Mother Goose?
Mother Goose, and then we'll get Muppets back.
That's our religion we're starting.
Yeah.
Join our cult. Move the spoon. Move the spoon. Move the spoon. Well, this episode wraps up with Gonzo telling Nanny that Animal and him went to Goosetown and that Mother Goose said to say hello, because she did. We saw it. And Nanny says, oh, she did? We haven't seen each other since I was a child when I first got this old book.
What are you going on about?
I think part of this is obviously the playing along with your kids' version of reality.
Yeah.
But there was a moment where I was like, wait a minute. Did
Is
Nanny
it,
get sucked
though?
into that book too?
Yeah. Is it?
I also, Sam, the way this episode was built, hey, in the morning, it's rainy, it's gloomy, these kids are irritable and bored. Look, Mother Goose bestowed upon us one of her miracles and took away the clouds. The sun is shining. I thought there was a chance that they were going to go outside at the end of this episode.
Oh, yeah,
or
absolutely.
at least reference.
At least Nanny would say,
now we
like,
can
hey,
go
kids,
outside.
it's sunny out. Let's go play. Nope. They just end up fight there. So they want to read more nursery rhymes.
I was like, oh, it's the season finale. Maybe they had the thought of, let's let the kids go play outside. We never do that. And I guess the kids are just going to be happier because it's sunny, but not actually go outside and enjoy that at all.
I just wonder if you talked to the writers of this show and you
Mhm.
said, did you notice the kids never go outside? They would go, huh. I actually didn't notice.
Well, and I could understand, some shows, like we talked about the Honeymooners earlier. The Honeymooners takes place almost entirely on 2 sets, the entire show.
Right. This is a cartoon, though.
Right. This is a cartoon where they draw fantastical scenarios
They've drawn
every single
outside
week.
so many times.
And so it's not like a budget thing.
Yeah.
They just really, I think it's, it's that you created this prison of your own making of we want this to be about kids who are forced to play and be imaginative. And the easiest way to do that is to not show that they can go to a playground or play outside.
I only imagined when I was outside at the playground.
Right?
Like,
That's a very good point, Sam. I was trying to defend them. It's indefensible because not only are you correct, but that's also the conceit of the entire 2018 reboot of this show is that they're almost always outside and they're constantly imagining scenarios where they're playing, on a playground or whatever like that. And they're like, I'm on a pirate ship or whatever.
yes, exactly. I'm swinging through the jungle. I'm Goku.
I'm Stone Cold
Just-
Steve Austin. I'm beating up my friend.
Exactly, on a trampoline.
Yeah.
A professional wrestling episode of Muppet Babies is something that feels like it could have been in the realm of possibility.
I feel like there's something in the newer Muppet Babies where I can like picture Gonzo dressed as like a luchador or something.
Oh, yeah. That sounds familiar.
I don't know
to me, too.
why, but it feels
Well,
familiar.
We'll get there, and then we'll know.
Yeah. By that time, my kid will be too old for the show. Like by the time we reach
Duh.
modern day Muppet Babies, she's going to be beyond the age for that show.
Please don't say stuff like that.
Well, Sam, before we get out of here, I got to ask, what non-Muppet things did you enjoy this week?
I got the new game, Mina the Hollower. Have you heard of this game?
I have heard very good things about this game.
Yeah. I've heard conflicting things about it, and I'm
Oh.
conflicted about it
Hmm.
because it's a new game by the people who made Shovel Knight, which
Right.
is itself like a throwback kind of like it works off of the old DuckTales video game, basically. Like you have a pogo stick, except your pogo stick's a shovel. The same like mechanics. This one is a lot like A Link to the Past, the SNES Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's like homages in the sprite work and stuff like that to it.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like the best old video game you've ever seen. Like,
Yes, it's beautiful. The music is great. It's fun. But the thing that people complain about that I was kind of like, I don't know, is that it's a Souls-like. Do you know what that means? Like Dark Souls, where you make your way to the next checkpoint.
you die, you lose
and
all
hit
your stuff,
that.
and you have to
If
go
you
back.
die, you lose all your stuff. You go back, then you have to try to get to where you were to get your stuff back, and then continue to the next checkpoint. In some respects, to me, that's just like, well, if you lose all your lives in Zelda, you have to start back to where you were before. So it's like not that different.
Right.
But there is something about it in this game that is annoying me. And I do think it feels a little bit like they just didn't have to do it that way. Because it's really fucking hard is one part of it. And I think that there's just like that combination of if it's a Souls-like, it's got to be really hard. Which I guess makes sense. And there is when you do figure out like, oh, I can actually beat this guy if I'm just a little bit careful. That does feel good. But there's so many games where you have to be a little bit careful these days. And I don't want to be. I want to run around like Zelda and like throw a boomerang and not worry about losing all my rupees.
Yeah.
But I do really like it. And I played it until like 2:30 in the morning last night. So
Wow.
it's pretty fun. It's very like stuffed full. Like I just got to like I have fishing rod, and it's like, well, there's like 200 fish to catch, all across the world. So now it's like, well, fuck, now I gotta do this too. But it's good. It's fun to play, and I love Hollow Knight. I liked the Switch games where you can undock the Switch and play it, and you don't feel like you're like missing out on something on the big screen.
Yeah, that does feel like
And
a
this
good
is
handheld
perfect.
game.
Mm-hmm. It looks kind of weird on the big screen, actually.
Yeah.
So it's kind of perfect in that regard. But yeah, it's fun, and the setting is really cool, and the characters are cool. And I know I'll finish it because I finished Shovel Knight and all of its spinoffs and stuff. So yeah, that. How about you?
It's so funny. Like some video games, I listen to the Besties, which is the McElroys and other people's video game podcast, and that's where most of my video game knowledge comes from. And they were talking about how much they love that game, but it was definitely clear to me that it's one of those games where I'm like, I'm happy for you because it does not sound like a game I would play or get
Yes.
sucked into, but it
Yeah.
does sound very cool. Whereas I playing Ghost of Yote still 8 months later after that game came out. One, because it is a big game. There's a lot to do. Like I'm 57 hours into the game, and I'm like also 57% of the way through the game.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot to do, lots of side things. That's mostly because, I have a baby, so I play 1 hour at a time.
Right.
And, but no, still playing that a ton. It's still weird and fun to see, friend of the podcast, Erica Ishii, as the star of the game, kicking ass. But the other thing I watched this week was Logan.
Oh,
Yeah. the
interesting.
2017 Wolverine movie.
How's it hold up?
Not as good as I thought it would, unfortunately.
Huh.
I loved it when it came out. I remember seeing it maybe in theaters and really liking it. And so I was, going for my Marvel rewatch. I was like, oh yeah, I get to revisit Logan. Great. and something about it feels low budget, which is not what I expected. Like it's shot cheaply and
I think
doesn't
maybe it
look
was low
good.
budget,
I think it
wasn't
was. Yeah. But I mean, I don't remember feeling that when I watched it the first time.
Right.
But watching it this time, even like the scene I remember most vividly from the first time watching it is the time when Professor X has his little freak out moment and everyone freezes in Vegas and Logan has to crawl through this hotel, killing people in slow motion and stuff. And like that stands out to me as like a very cool scene. Watching it this time, it looks really cheap and bad to me. In a way where it doesn't feel convincing, like that effect anymore. And I'm not sure what happened in the last 10 years to make me change my mind on this movie. Like, it's a fine movie. The plot's fine. But, like, I couldn't see through some of that this time.
Interesting. Yeah, I have not watched that since I saw it in theaters.
I think because it was so different for the time of superhero movies, it felt big and important at the time. And I think maybe now, 10 years later, it just doesn't feel as different or weird. And I don't know, it didn't get me emotionally in the way that I thought it would, or the way I remember it hitting me. The Professor X stuff doesn't work for me anymore, really. I don't like it. It's more of like, I feel like they're keeping too much off the page. Like they're not telling you enough about what has happened.
That's kind of how I feel about my memory, at least of all of those X-Men movies, is that you're supposed to like remember that they existed, but not really like rewatch them.
I think they don't want you to. I think they like, they almost like they want to make up a fiction of like what happened between the last two things. But if you actually watch them in order, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And they're like, shh, don't worry about it. We're telling you what happened. Just like, from now on, this is what happened until the next movie when that no longer happened. That's a cool
thing that happened. Why don't I get to see that part that happened?
Yeah, we're just going to reference that you killed all your friends, but not really bring it up.
Yeah. Every movie, they all die. And some horrible tragedy in the past has broken up the X-Men.
But don't worry, they'll all be back in Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, and they'll all probably die.
Yeah. So we got to let you know what we're watching next time. And next time, if you're listening to this as these come out, we're actually going to be taking a couple of weeks off. But when we return, we will be firmly in December of 1989, the era, the birth of Taylor Swift. There'll be a seismic change in the universe.
This is what it's all been leading to, folks. It changes now into a Taylor Swift follow along.
Yeah, Taylor Swift and nursery rhymes is what we're all about from now on.
Yeah.
Well, somehow though, we will be only a couple of weeks ahead of where we are right now, but we'll be discussing a brand new season of Muppet Babies.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah, this is a weird one where they do the seasons back to back for a little bit and then skip out and then come back to it. So we will be discussing the first 3 episodes of season 7, which are called It's Only Pretendo.
Is this got to be about Nintendo?
This is the one where you see Gonzo dressed up as Mario in the thumbnail for the image.
Great. They're starting to pander to people my age. I like this.
Or they had the conversation after the episode like we just had of, man, I guess we should have done something with video games, huh? When we made that the whole lesson. And they said, next season. The second episode is Quoth the Weirdo.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
And the third episode is Operators Are Standing By.
That's very generic. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
But if it's about infomercials on TV,
like QVC buying things off the TV, which they did do not that long ago.
That's true. That's true.
But,
all those kids have grown up. They're not watching Muppet Babies anymore.
Yeah, they aged out. Well, we'll find out next time. For now, we need to thank our friend Tuna for making the music for this podcast and Cassie Wilson for singing our theme song. Don't forget to go to commitment.com for all commitment needs. And while you're listening to this podcast on your platform of choice, you can rate, review, comment, all that jazz. If you'd like to get in touch, you can do so by emailing us at mail@commitment.com, or you can follow us and talk to us on social media at commitmentpod or at commitment.com on Blue Sky. And you can also follow me at Matthew Gatos.
And I'm Sam Schultz.
And as always, keep believing.
Keep pretending.